and it's very important that you are with us and that we speak to America and we speak together. And it's important that Washington is with us, and today in several forums we are deciding what we are going to discuss in Washington. Dear journalists, it's crucial that Europe is as united now as it was at the very beginning, as it was in 2022 when the full-scale war began. This unity really helps to reach real peace, and it must stay strong. First, we have to stop the killings. Putin has many demands, but we do not know all of them. And if there are really as many as we heard, then it will take time to go through them all. It's impossible to do this under the pressure of weapons.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Right View Nation. If you're sick and tired of the lies, the weakness, and the sellouts, then you are in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Because here, your voice as a true American patriot matters.
You're next to me.
Thank you so much.
Voilà.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Commission's press room. We are here with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, for a press point following their bilateral meeting.
Yes.
President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, dear Volodymyr. What a pleasure to welcome you back to Brussels. I'm very pleased to be here with you today for our bilateral meeting that we just had, but also then the VTC that we will have in the Coalition of the Willing. And of course, I'm very glad that I'm able to accompany you and other European leaders for the meeting tomorrow that we do have with the US President in the White House. Since the beginning of Russia's brutal invasion, Europe has been at Ukraine's side, united, and we will support you for as long as it takes, for just and lasting peace. And this peace must be achieved through strength. Let me touch upon the main points. First, we must have strong security guarantees to protect both Ukraine and Europe's vital security interests. Ukraine must be able to uphold its sovereignty and its territorial integrity. There can be no limitations on Ukrainian armed forces, be it cooperation with or other third countries or assistance from other third countries, no limitations for the Ukrainian armed forces. As I've often said, Ukraine must become a steel porcupine, undigestible for potential invaders. We welcome President Trump's willingness to contribute to Article 5-like security guarantees for Ukraine. And the Coalition of the Willing, including the European Union, is ready to do its share. We know that the work of defending Europe is first and foremost our responsibility. And we've been working hard to speed up and scale up as we increase Europe's defense capability. Through the SAFE instrument, we are ensuring that the defense needs of member states and Ukraine can be matched, and that Ukraine's industrial defense base is strengthened. I am thinking in particular of drones here. This is in our mutual interest, and I intend to travel to the frontline member states in the coming weeks. At the same time, we continue to support Ukraine's path to its membership in the European Union. This in itself is also a security guarantee. My second point, with regards to any territorial questions in Ukraine, our position is clear. International borders cannot be changed by force. These are decisions to be made by Ukraine and Ukraine alone. And these decisions cannot be taken without Ukraine at the table. My third and final point, as long as the bloodshed in Ukraine continues, Europe will maintain diplomatic and in particular economic pressure on Russia. We will continue to strengthen sanctions. We have adopted 18 packages so far, and we are advancing preparation for the 19th. This package will be forthcoming in early September. We know that sanctions are effective. We have already put Russia's immobilized assets to work for the benefit of Ukraine, and we will continue to put pressure on Russia's war economy to bring President Putin to the negotiation table. We're working with you, Volodymyr, and President Trump in this sense, and we will discuss all these topics and others in our joint meeting at the White House tomorrow. These are challenging times. Only Ukraine can choose its own destiny, but Ukraine can always count on Europe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Dear Ursula, thank you for your support. Thank you for this day. It's very important for all your support from the very beginning of this war. And it's very important that you are with us and that we speak to America and we speak together. And it's important that Washington is with us. And today, in several forums, we are deciding what we are going to discuss in Washington. Dear journalists, it's crucial that Europe is as united now as it was at the very beginning, as it was in 2022, when the full-scale war began. This unity really helps to reach real peace, and it must stay strong. First, we have to stop the killings. Putin has many demands, but we do not know all of them. And if there are really as many as we heard, then it will take time to go through them all. It's impossible to do this under the pressure of weapons. So it's necessary to cease fire and work quickly on a final deal. We'll talk about it in Washington. Putin does not want to stop the killing, but he must do it. Second, we need real negotiations, which means they can start where the front line is now. The contact line is the best line for talking, and Europeans support this. And we thank everyone. Russia is still unsuccessful in Donetsk region. Putin has been unable to take it for 12 years, and the constitution of Ukraine makes it impossible to give up territory or trade land. Since the territorial issue is so important, it should be discussed only by the leaders of Ukraine and Russia at the trilateral Ukraine, United States, Russia. So far, Russia gives no sign that trilateral will happen, and if Russia refuses, then new sanctions must follow. Third, it's important that America agrees to work with Europe to provide security guarantees for Ukraine, and we are very thankful to the United States and to the President for such signal, and therefore for everyone in Europe. This is a significant change, but there are no details how it will work and what America's role will be, what Europe's role will be, what the EU can do. And this is our main task. We need security to work in practice, like Article 5 of NATO, and we consider EU accession to be part of security guarantees. And we have heard from President Trump that America and Putin see it the same way. So we talked about the EU accession negotiations. There can be no division between Ukraine and Moldova. That would simply be a very bad move to my mind, and if such a division takes place, it will automatically mean that Europe is divided on Ukraine, that Europe does not have a common and strong position on guarantees. Many in Europe see that vision will only make things worse. And we talked about defense, and thank you very much, dear Ursula. We agreed to work more actively on programs such as SAFE, and I count on the support with drones. First of all, this is priority. Next, thank you for the 18th package of sanctions. It's important. We need to prepare the 19th package so that Russia sees that we are serious. We understand Russia's strategic direction. It's anti-European, and so we must continue to limit Russia's potential. Finally, we talked about the support of Ukrainian children in schools, and we have a school meal program, and it's an important program that ensures that children from every family in wartime at least receive security and receive a normal hot meal. The school year is coming soon, and I asked Ursula to help us improve this program. It's our children, it's our future, everything for them. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both presidents. We can now take a couple of questions.
Okay.
Katarina, the first question.
Thank you. Katarina Reden for the German press agency.
You have microphones in front of you. If you can take one, that would be fantastic. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay, better? So Katarina Reden for the German press agency. A question to both presidents. Do you agree with President Trump that there's no need for a ceasefire and that peace negotiations should begin immediately?
Yeah, you want?
So, I think not the term is so important. Important is, and it matters, what's the effect. And the effect must be stop the killing. That's the most important part. Whether we call it a ceasefire or it's a peace deal, stop the killing. Point number one. Therefore, it is so important to have as soon as possible a trilateral meeting between the President of Ukraine, the President of the United States and of Russia. I think very important is that there are clear timelines to be kept. So it's not the term itself, it's the content that matters.
Thanks so much. I totally agree with Ursula. And you know that from the very beginning, I think it was March when the President of the United States, he proposed ceasefire, like a first element, stopping killing. And we agreed it and we supported him. And I think it was very strong idea, pushing Russia to real negotiations. And now we hear another signals. I think that we have to share all this with details and what Ursula said about and what we talked bilaterally and what we will talk now with all our coalition villains, with all the Europeans. And we have to share all our thoughts with President Trump. We need the United States on our side. And I think that President Trump shared that we would need peace, but steps to this peace. We need, right, correct steps to have lasting peace. To stop Putin, it means not to make a pause in this war. Stop and have a lasting peace. Yeah, for all of us. Thank you.
Thanks. Second and last question to Elena. Thanks.
Thank you. I will start in Ukrainian if possible. Олена Абрамович, Радіо Свобода, українська служба. Пане президенте, Путін сказав, що розуміє, що Україні потрібні гарантії безпеки. У вас вже була розмова з президентом Трампом. Скажіть, чи озвучив він бачення Росії щодо гарантій безпеки для України, які прийнятні для Росії, так? І які гарантії безпеки, власне, прийнятні для України? Чи досі ми говоримо про troops on the ground, тобто війська певні, чи це 5 стаття, якщо можете пояснити ваше бачення, як це може виглядати? І коротке просто, як у вас настрій, чи нема перестроги, що в Білому домі може все піти так само, як було 28 лютого? Дякую. I'm sorry, if I may also to the Madam President, another question.
I think we will with one because we have a call soon.
Very quickly. Дякую. Can I answer Ukrainian? Yep. Дякую. Дякую за запитання. Передусім, я не знаю, про що реально говорили Путін і президент Трамп. І я хочу, щоб багато деталей президент Трамп сказав мені, потім європейським лідерам. І те, що президент Трамп сказав сигнал про гарантії безпеки, для мене це набагато важливіше, ніж думки Путіна. Тому що Путіна не дасть ніяких гарантій безпеки. Гарантії безпеки – це сильна армія. Це може дати тільки Україна. Фінансування цієї армії – це може дати тільки, я вважаю, Європа. Зброя для цієї армії – це може дати наше внутрішнє виробництво, європейське виробництво, але є дефіцитні речі, які є тільки у Сполучених Штатах Америки. Оце, я вважаю, гарантії безпеки. Чи підключається вивчають, чи є troops on the ground, чи є така захист, як у деяких інших держав в небі, ви знаєте про що я, чи є у нас можливість мати сучасний total number of air defense. Це тільки поки що запитання. На них ми дуже хочемо отримати відповідь, щоб розуміти, що таке гарантії безпеки. Те, про що ви говорите, мені здається, це сигнали руської сторони, що вони не будуть нас далі окуповувати. Але, якщо чесно, це поки що це просто слова. І на рівні тристоронньої зустрічі готові говорити. Що стосується Білого дому, я налаштований дуже продуктивно. І в гарному сенсі. В усіх сенсах цього слова.
Mr. President, do you have
Apologies. Sorry. If
We go.
you
Thank
allow
you so
me,
much.
the presidents have a
Bye-bye.
meeting now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, what we just heard today is proof of one thing. The world is finally realizing that without President Donald J. Trump, there is no real leadership, no real security, and no real hope for peace. Europe is scrambling, Ukraine is begging, and the bureaucrats are all looking to Trump for answers. Why? Because even outside of office, Trump sets the standard for strength, for deterrence, and for peace through power. When Trump says he's willing to stand behind security guarantees, everyone listens. Not because they like him, the elites hate him, but because they fear his strength and they respect his results. The same man who brokered the Abraham Accords, who kept Russia from invading Ukraine for 4 straight years, who kept Iran in check and ISIS on the run. That man is once again driving the conversation on the world stage. Meanwhile, what do we see from Europe's so-called leaders? Endless talking, endless committees, endless sanctions that barely scratch the surface. 18 sanction packages, now talking about a 19th, but Putin is still fighting, still threatening, still testing the West. You know why? Because he smells weakness. He sees leaders who care more about appearances, about globalist unity speeches, than about actually protecting freedom. Under Trump, Putin didn't dare. Under Biden and Brussels, Putin rolled into Ukraine without hesitation. That's the difference between strength and weakness, between America First leadership and globalist compromise. Now don't get me wrong, the people of Ukraine are suffering. They deserve support, they deserve the right to live free from invasion and tyranny. But here's the truth nobody wants to say. This war has dragged on because the so-called leaders of Europe and Washington, D.C. have no backbone. They pump billions of dollars into endless weapons shipments, but they don't set real conditions for peace. Trump says stop the killing. Sit down. Get to the table. Negotiate from a position of strength. That's how you end wars. Not by dragging them out for years while kids starve and cities burn. And here's the part that drives me crazy, folks. Europe is now admitting that it can't defend itself without America. They're talking about drones, weapons, Article 5, style guarantees. But who's the one they're counting on? Donald J. Trump. Even when he's not in the Oval Office, he's the shadow leader of the free world. Europe knows it. Ukraine knows it. Russia knows it. And deep down, every American knows it too. Let's zoom out for a second. What does all this tell us? It tells us the world doesn't trust Biden. It tells us NATO has no real backbone. It tells us the only leader who can stare down Putin, stare down Xi Jinping, stare down Iran, and still deliver peace is Donald Trump. The world is falling apart because Joe Biden is asleep at the wheel. Our enemies are emboldened, our allies are desperate, and our soldiers are stretched thin. But when Trump takes the White House back in 2025, things will change. The globalists will panic, the enemies of freedom will back down, and America will be respected again. So here's the bottom line. Trump is right. Stop the killing. Negotiate from strength. Protect sovereignty. And restore peace through power. That's how you lead. That's how you win. And that's how America First brings stability to the entire world. If you're proud to stand with President Trump, if you believe in peace through strength, and if you're ready to take America back, then do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button right now, smash that like button, share this video with your fellow patriots, and leave a comment below saying, Trump 2025, peace through strength. This is Right View Nation. We don't back down, we don't apologize, and we don't compromise. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and stay unapologetically American.